I have no evidence of that in anything that I've looked at. My focus has been primarily on the timeline of services and what we were doing in the district. And so he, I think it was January of 2016 to June of 2016, he was, we tried to do a transition where he's spending half of his day at the Behavior Center across Creek and the other half at Stoneman Douglas. That transition process worked well. And so a decision was made to help him to reintegrate back into the school. So he was enrolled as a full-time student in August of 2016, turned 18 in September. By November, his situation had deteriorated into the school. I don't have the specifics on it. I can just tell you generally what I know. He was having issues in the school. It's significant enough that it precipitated the team of individuals that provide services to him. I imagine that might have been behavior specialists, psychologists, counselors. They come together periodically as a team to look at a student's IEP and decide what is the appropriate interventions and environment for them to be successful in. Through that process, they recommended that he return back to the Cross Creek Behavior Center. That's why I looked at the timeline. There's nothing that I see at the moment that suggests that staff did anything out of the ordinary that we would do for a student exhibiting behavior issues. He spent most of his time 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. He was at a behavior center. They tried to reintegrate him to the school for a short period of time. He spent a total of maybe 4 or 5 months when you add it all up in this school, and that was not successful. And he was referred back to the behavior center. When a student becomes an adult, and in conjunction with their guardian, they can revoke services, which is what they did in this case. So let me just say, students that would bring weapons to school, yeah, there are consequences for it. That's firmly laid out in our student code of conduct. I mean, I hear these allegations, but I haven't actually seen any reports of that or anyone that have signed anything that would indicate that he had some, weapon in school. In this day and age, there's got to be some process that incorporates some serious investigations of what is being put out on social media. So we'll look at all of the different angles and try to figure out what we can do better as a district. But at some point, how do we take action? Because the biggest problem is we could provide services perfectly. If the individual is still able to go out and buy a semi-automatic weapon, that becomes a major hole in anything that we could possibly do. And so that's got to be fixed.